Hello, good day. Welcome back. Thanks for coming again. Today we're going to be talking about values and variable. This is chapter 5, JavaScript, section 6, and video number 30. So let's get started. So what is a value? So this is my definition. I didn't look in the dictionary and I want to give you the computer science definition. So I think a value is an abstraction to represent a computed result. Now, I don't think that's going to be very far off from if you look up, what are values in a computer on Wikipedia, for example. And here's some examples of values. So we have the number 6, we have pi 3.124, we have the string varil, and then there I have something that looks like a date. Well, I'll get back to that soon. So what I want to show you is what does that look like if we were to type it in our JavaScript console for our web browser. As you can see, I type in the values here, 6, the decimal for pi, the string, and what looks like a date. And of course, it doesn't quite look like I'm getting the right thing. So let me show you that in action. Like, let me just do it on the browser and show you the result as I type it. So I'm going to open up my developer console here in Chrome, but again, you can use any browser you want. I'm going to get a blank screen, and then I'm going to start typing in those values we saw on the slide. So first one, let me open up this window a little bit, zoom in to make this a lot bigger so it's easier to see. There we go. That should be good enough. And I type 6, press enter, and I get back 6. And so the console is just simply echoing what I'm typing. I type pi 3.1245, and I said it correctly, 3.141592. I type varil two different ways, the string varil with single quotes and double quotes. And then here I'm typing what looks like a date, press enter, but I don't get back what I expect. What I get back is what looks like 2016 divided by 1, which is 2016, divided by 26. And that's because the console is interpreting those forward slashes as divide, which is how you tend to write divide. Well, if I really want a date, I can use a more complex data type or value type, and there's a type called date, and we're not going to go into details, but there's one way you can use it. And now it is also a value, but it's a little more complex. It's from a class, but we're going to cover all those in due time. I just kind of want to show you that there are more different types of a wide variety of values and data types than just the basic one you might know, like a number and a string. We have lists and other types of collection, but here's this one with a date. All right, so now it seemed to have the date value that I was looking for. All right, and that is it for values. Okay, so let's talk about variables now. And again, this is my definition. I'm going to say that a variable is a named abstraction, right? Some abstraction you can attach a name to recall or reference a value. Now remember what a value is. A value is an abstraction to represent a computed result. So what I'm saying here now is once you have a computed result, you can attach a name to it. And with that name, that abstract name, you can recall or reference that value. And so let's jump to the browser console and play with creating variables. So I'm going to start with a clear console, and I'm going to start by typing a value as before. Now, when I type this value, press enter, I see it just like before, nothing is new. But if I wanted to recall that, because I don't want to remember what it is that I actually type, I can just assign it to a variable. And so if you notice, I put the variable name on the left and then the value on the right. So you could think of this as compute the stuff on the right, and then whatever that result is, stick it into the thing on the left. And so now when I type A again, I get back my value. So that's the recall or being able to reference it. And same thing, if I had 3 point whatever, whatever, pi, it's just a number. Without me telling you it's pi, some of you might have looked at it and said it was pi, but it's much easier and nicer for me to say, I have a variable called pi with this value, and later if I want to use pi, I just use the name or the variable name, pi, and I can recall that value without having to retype the same thing, right? And so you can probably start to see how once you start writing a program that manipulates a large set of values, it would make it easier for you to just be able to assign names to certain values and then make it easier to recall or reference. In this case, I can say a plus pi, and I get the same result if I type out 6 plus da 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 da. So it also saves you from typing if you don't really buy the concept that a variable is useful. Think of it as saving you some typing, because your variable name generally might be much shorter than the value that you store in them. Okay, but you'll see that it makes sense to have variable name. So for example, I can put my name. I have a variable called name, and I store variable in there, and then now I can reference variable anytime. Same thing with the computation we did with 2000 divided by 1 divided by 26. And as for the date, we can just say today, or whatever you want to say, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever your variable name is, and now I have that stored in a variable. And you can create as many variables as you have memory to create, but let's just say you can create any number of variables, and then you can just recall them by just typing the variable name, and you could see I'm recalling them. So they don't erase each other. For me to change the value, I'd have to assign another value to the value that's in that variable. I have to type like a equals 7 or something to change it. Okay, and that's it for variables. I hope that you've learned something. Even though there's a short video, you've learned about values and variables. Thank you, and see you in the next video. Bye.